Respiration. Respiration is a characteristic feature of the living things. Broadly, it is divided into aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic is in presence of oxygen and is the complete oxidation, and anaerobic is in absence of oxygen and incomplete oxidation. There are two types of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic. In aerobic respiration, oxygen is used as terminal oxidant. Respiratory substrate is completely oxidized, and this you can see by this equation that carbohydrate in presence of oxygen is completely oxidized to carbon dioxide and water and more energy. In anaerobic respiration, the respiratory substrate is broken down incompletely and oxygen is not used. And you can see here the carbohydrate is incompletely oxidized to ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide, less amount and less energy. Obligate aerobes. The bacteria can perform only aerobic respiration. They are killed under anaerobic condition. Example is Bacillus subtilis and Azotobacter. And here you have the diagram of Bacillus subtilis. Obligate anaerobes. The bacteria can perform only anaerobic respiration. They cannot tolerate aerobic condition. Example is Clostridium acetobutylicum and Clostridium botulinum. This is Clostridium botulinum. It causes food poisoning, referred as botulinism. Facultative anaerobes. These bacteria are normally aerobes, which can switch over to anaerobic mode of respiration when oxygen is not available. Example is Clostridium tetani, the bacteria which causes tetanus or lockjaw disease. Facultative aerobes. The bacteria are normally anaerobes but can perform aerobic respiration in the presence of oxygen. Example is photosynthetic bacteria. Now we take up the nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is of two types, photoautotrophic and chemoautotrophic. In heterotrophic nutrition, in which organisms obtain organic nutrients from outside, it is of three types, that is saprotrophic, parasitic and symbiotic. Autotrophic bacteria. The group of bacteria which are able to synthesize their own organic food from inorganic substances, and these bacteria are further divided into number one, photoautotrophic, and number two, chemoautotrophic bacteria. Now we take up the photoautotrophic bacteria or photolithotrophic bacteria. These bacteria possesses photosynthetic pigments in membrane-bound lamellae, that is thylakoids, and utilize light energy to perform photosynthesis. The bacterial photosynthesis, water is not utilized as a hydrogen donor, and therefore molecular oxygen is not liberated and is called anoxygenic photosynthesis. This is the example and commonly called as sulfur bacteria. The green sulfur bacteria such as Chlorobium and Chloroseudomonas species contain the pigment bacterioviridin, and here also the hydrogen donor is H2S. You can say the hydrogen donor is H2S, and from carbon dioxide is reduced to the level of carbohydrate. Thiospirillum and Chromatium have bacteriochlorophyll. This is Thiospirillum. Chemoautotrophic bacteria or chemolithotrophic bacteria. You know, chemosynthesis is exergonic, chemical reaction, and here you can say the chemical energy is evolved by the oxidation of certain compounds, and let us take up some important ones. Nitrifying bacteria. Nitrosomonas are nitrite bacteria which oxidize ammonia for obtaining energy. You can see ammonia is converted into nitrites. And then you have the nitrobacter, are nitrate bacteria which obtain energy by oxidizing nitrites to nitrates. This is Nitrosomonas and this is Nitrobacter. Nitrosomus is converting ammonium compounds to nitrites and Nitrobacter nitrites to nitrates. Sulfur bacteria, Beggiatoa, picks energy for chemosynthesis by oxidizing hydrogen sulfide to sulfur. You can see H2S oxidized and produces water and sulfur is left. This is the Beggiatoa, it's a filamentous bacteria. Methane bacteria, they oxidize methane for obtaining both energy and carbon, raw materials for the synthesis of food. Example is Methanomonas. And here you can see the equation. This is the Methanomonas. Saprotrophic bacteria breaks complex organic substances into simple and soluble substances by releasing enzymes. The dissolved substances are absorbed and assimilated by saprotrophs, and they are called as osmotrophs. Organisms which bring about physical and chemical breakdown of dead organism and their remains are called decomposers. Both gram-negative and gram-positive are active decomposers. Gram-negative Pseudomonas is capable of decomposing a wide variety of organic compounds, both natural and man-made, as well as petroleum-based. This is Pseudomonas. You must have read in biotechnology that Dr. Chakravarti has created a genetically engineered bacteria that is Pseudomonas putida, which has the ability to oxidize the hydrocarbons. Three special terms are used for saprotrophic breakdown of organic materials: decay, aerobic breakdown of organic remains; B, putrefaction, anaerobic breakdown of proteins; C, fermentation, anaerobic breakdown of carbohydrates. Symbiotic bacteria. The bacteria live in mutually beneficial association with the organisms. Rhizobium, you are familiar with it, is a symbiont in the root nodules of legumes. Different species of rhizobium are associated with different types of legume. For example, Rhizobium leguminosarum. The bacteria perform nitrogen fixation, and here you can see the rhizobium bacteria present in the root nodules. You can see these root nodules in the root having the rhizobium bacteria. This is the rhizobium. Aerorhizobium present in the stem nodules of Sesbania rostrata. Frankia is present in root nodules of Casuarina, Elnus, that's called as elder, rubus, etc. Then comes the parasitic bacteria. The bacteria obtain nourishment from other living organisms called hosts. The parasitic bacteria may be harmless to the host, and those causing diseases are known as pathogens. The pathogenic bacteria are able to overcome host defense with the help of biochemicals such as toxins. And you know, toxins can be exotoxins. They are proteins secreted extracellularly by the mostly gram-positive and a number of gram-negative bacteria. Say, for example, cholera toxin, anthrax toxin, diphtheria toxin, tetanus toxin, and botulinum toxin. Endotoxin. They are lipopolysaccharides, protein complexes which are released on death of the bacteria. Example is gonorrhea toxin. Now you can see this is the exotoxin, botulinum toxin, which of course causes the food poisoning. And then you have the endotoxin, that is gonorrhea toxin. And you know that gonorrhea and syphilis are VD, that is the vernal diseases.